Yo, what up, man? Chris, I'm by checking back in, man. Back with the blog, man. Make sure that like button and subscribe button on your way in, man. I appreciate all the support, man. Y'all wanted me to do more jail vlogs, talk about my experiences, man, and what everything I had to go through, and or just what I see, you know, with other criminal cases. And one thing I want to talk about is how Gunna and Thug were denied bond. I'm gonna give you my opinions on bond. I'm gonna tell you what I feel about bond. Tell you, you know, talk about jail, prison a little bit. Just give you a little bit more perspective, man. So let's just have a conversation. First thing I want to say is, you know, obviously they were denied bond. There was a lot of charges. You got the racketeering situation. They put like 7 more charges on Thug. These are all things you got to take in front of the judge. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna, you know, paint this very negative picture of you. But before I even get to that, some of y'all probably don't really know the difference between jail and prison. You know what I'm saying? It is kind of a big difference. It's not the same thing. And, you know, so I'm talking to people that may be clueless on this whole thing. There's jail and then there's prison. So jail is where they hold you to where they determine whether or not you go home or you go to prison. And jail is a lot more restrictive, man. When I was locked up, bro, we only came out 6 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? You had the top row. I told you it was like 32 people in my pod. So you had like 16 on the top, 16 on the bottom. And each day you rotated 6 hours a day. So maybe the bottom row would come out from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. and then from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Just 6 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? And then the other row would come out from 11 a.m. to 2. So you come out 8 to 11 and you go in, and they come out 11 to 2. And then you come out 4 to 7, go in, and they come out 7 to 10. And then that was pretty much your day. You know what I'm saying? So as you can see, 6 hours a day you would come out, man. You had to do everything you needed to do as far as shower or any recreation. Sometimes they took you to play a little bit of basketball, any kind of workout you want to do, play cards, watch TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were real big on, like, you know, a lot of the black shows that come out, like Love and Hip Hop, stuff like that, VH1, a bunch of movies. They real big on that. So that was your time to do that. You know what I'm saying? So it just rotated. And so that was pretty much jail. It's very restrictive. Other than that, you're in your cell all the time. You know what I'm saying? So the thing with prison is, because it's where they sentence you, so sometimes you got life in prison, 20 years in prison, 15 years in prison, 10 years in prison. Because that's where you're gonna be at, they try to normalize it a little bit. So they give you more freedom. You know, you may wake up at 6 a.m., get let out your cell, not have to come back to your cell until like 11 o'clock at night. You have all day to do a bunch of different stuff, whether you have work detail, whether you want to kick it and play cards, whether you want to go, you know, play basketball, maybe some football or something, go outside and work out. We couldn't go outside when you was in jail, but in prison, you can go outside and stuff. And the prisons are built in very rural areas. You know what I'm saying? Away from a lot of different things. You can't just look out and see a Walmart over there. So you very much detach in a very small country area where a lot of land, and they build a prison. And that's kind of where you are. And because of that, they give you a lot more freedom. So they normalize it. So people that are in jail, they kind of like, if they know that they're going to be guilty, or they know that they can't beat their case, they kind of want to go to prison, because you're able to leave a restrictive jail to go to a more wide open prison. So instead of being locked in your cell and only able to come out 6 hours out the day, you kind of have a wide open thing. And yeah, you're around the same people, but you can you socialize more. You can kick it more, play cards more, just shoot the breeze. Sometimes you got work detail where you got to go out to work. Some people in prison actually leave the prison and go out, pick up trash on the highway and do all kind of different. You get a chance to see a little bit of the world. Jail, man, the jail I was in had no windows, bro, barely any windows. When I tell you, like, I didn't see any sunlight, I didn't see any sunlight, bro. I was really looking like Louise out here, like pale as hell. So that's another part about giving up. You know what I'm saying? Like, people just give up because they hear all of these prison stories, because people from prison still come back to jail. You know, they may have to go to court or something. They may be trying to be resentenced or get their sentence reduced. So they have to come back into the jail and go back into the courtroom. And then you hear all the jail stories. Or people that already been to prison and now they back, you know, they get arrested again and now they back in jail. But you hear all of the prison stories And people making it seem like, man, prison is sweet. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And then you get niggas actually looking forward to going to prison. Like, yo, I can't wait till I get out of here and go to prison. So that makes people also give up more, take a plea deal, want to hurry up and get it over with so they can go down the road and go to prison. So that's pretty much the difference between jail and prison. Plus, stuff is cheaper in prison. A soup, ramen noodle soup, honey bun, all, you know, different little things, potato chips might be $1.15. In prisons, them same chips, maybe 70 cents. That soup, probably 45 cents. It's a lot cheaper, so your money stretches more in prison, which is also a big deal. But that's the difference between prison and jail from what I know. I was never in prison, but trust me, I heard a lot of prison stories. Now, when you think about thug, you know, you got to look at a guy that was living in a mansion, you know what I'm saying? Very, very rich, lots of money, lifestyle, lots of women, the whole nine. Now he's in Fulton County Jail. Fulton County Jail, one of the worst jails in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, it's right in the heart of downtown Atlanta. It's a lot more restrictive. So what happens, another thing in jail too, is when they don't have enough workers, enough people that they can hire to watch the inmates, the best way to control the inmates is to restrict them more. So they don't allow you out as much. So remember I was telling you was out 6 hours out the day. That's the jail I was in. You know what I'm saying? The jail I was in was not like the jail Gunna and Thug is in. It's a lot more restrictive in their jail. So they have less workers, a lot more restrictive. So those people are only coming out 2 hours out the day. You know what I'm saying? These niggas are locked up like all day long because it's a way to control you more. You know, because they know once they let you out, you can get in a fight, you can do all kind of stuff, and then you got to bring more guards to the cell to control stuff. So they don't want to deal with that. So they keep you in your cell more. So imagine living in a mansion and now all of a sudden you 23-1, 22-2 in your cell out 2 hours out the day. That shit can drive you crazy, bro. It can literally drive you crazy. And that's why I be saying, like, it's built to kind of like break you down. It reminds me a lot of the military. I used to be in the military. A lot of people may not really know that, but I used to be in the military. I wasn't no damn Navy SEAL like fucking Battle Troop tried to say. Don't ever listen to that nigga tell you nothing about me, bro. That nigga just be capping and making up stuff. Never no damn Navy SEAL. But anyway, when you go to boot camp, it's like they tear you down in order to build you up. So all your braggadocious ways, all your toughness, all your whatever, they tear that down in boot camp. I feel like the jail is pretty much like that too. It just strips you down of everything and try to like break you. And that's what Thug them is dealing with. And him being a celebrity and everything, man, he's probably very 23-1 restrictive. You know, with the rumors of him putting out a hit on Lucy and all that kind of stuff, they're not going to allow him to be around the jail. They're going to feel like he has too much power, too much control. And not only that, his life could be in danger too, with him being in the gang and everything. So they're going to keep him away from general population, and he's going to be 23-1 also. And that's how he's going to be until he can get out of jail. He's going to have a hard time getting out of jail. I'm not going to lie. Now, I feel like personally, everybody should get a bond. It's only a few situations I feel like you shouldn't get a bond. One is if you get a capital murder charge. I don't feel like you should get a bond for that. If you on some mass murder stuff, I definitely don't feel like you should get a bond. Shout out to everybody. I think Buffalo, New York or whatever, there was just a mass shooting in a store or something. I wish everybody the best. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing about it on the news. It looks like it's crazy. Some dude trying to kill black folks. It's just looking like it's crazy mass shooting. But if you in a mass murder type situation, capital murder situation, or when you were trying to be apprehended, you went on a run or sent the police on a wild goose chase through neighborhoods, speeding or whatever, those are the only three situations where I personally feel like you shouldn't be allowed a bond. I feel like everybody innocent till proven guilty. So why are you denying me a bond when you haven't proven that I'm guilty? So I feel like everybody should be offered a bond. That's not the case. And one of the reasons why it's not the case is because, you know, judges and district attorneys are voted in by our peers. You know, we vote for these people in elections. So imagine the district. You see how many interviews and everything the district attorney is doing, talking about, you know, how Thug and them is so bad and Gunna and them is so bad, and this is a RICO case, and we're trying to get criminals off the street, and we're going to prosecute them to the full degree of the law.
I said just a week or two ago. It does not matter what your notoriety is, what your fame is. If you come to Fulton County, Georgia, and you commit crimes, and certainly if those crimes are in furtherance of a street gang, that you are going to become a target and a focus of this district attorney's office, and we are going to prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law.
She's done a few press conferences about this situation. She's also a new DA. She just got into office last year. You know what I'm saying? So she's a new DA, new head of the district attorney office. So you can't do interviews talking about how bad of a person Thug is, but then turn around and let him out of jail. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Like, when you're voted in, you're telling the community that these are really, really bad people. These are bad people. They're doing a lot of crazy crimes. They're in gangs and everything. Oh, but you're going to allow them to get a bond. So judges know that. They know how high profile the case is. They want to be reelected. You got to think, this is what goes on with bond hearings. They want to be reelected, and they don't want the fact that you let someone out that they have already deemed to be so dangerous. You let them out of jail on a bond, because if you do that, then the community will feel unsafe. And then when it's time for you to be reelected, they won't want to reelect you. So a lot of times things are politically driven. You know what I'm saying? Politically driven. So that's why you don't ever really want a high profile case. Unfortunately, he's a celebrity. He's going to be high profile anyway. But he's probably not going to be able to get bond for a while, bro. You know, he went for bond. It was denied. In Georgia, you're allowed to go for bond every 60 days. So every 60 days, he'll be up for bond and up for bond and up for bond. And the crazy thing is, sometimes they'll deny you bond and then eventually they'll give it to you, although none of your circumstances change. So at first, you'll bond here and they'll tell you what a terrible person you are and how you are a threat to society. And then 6 months later, you'll get a bond and it's like, what really changed? I've been sitting in the jail. You think I'm a threat to society. You think I'm this, and all of a sudden you gave me a bond. But in Thug's situation, I think it's going to be hard for him to get a bond. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's going to be hard. First of all, they're going to want to set an example because of who he is. Second of all, they've already publicly, this case is so, bro, when I tell you how public this case is in Atlanta, this is all these niggas is talking about on the radio, bro. So this case is so public in Atlanta that from a political standpoint, they don't want to let him out of jail because they've already said what a danger to the community is. So they want to be reelected. They don't want to allow him to get a bond. So that's another thing that is going to be affecting him. And then the extra charges that he got when they raided his house. They found a machine gun, a silencer. I don't even know what's required to get a machine gun. I don't know what's required to get that. You know, maybe you can just buy a machine gun. I don't know. I know definitely you cannot have a silencer. You know, that's some stuff you can either get homemade or on a black market or something. But silencers are illegal in Georgia, probably illegal everywhere. But so you definitely can't get a silencer. So stuff like that, man, all this extra artillery and all this, like you going to war, just a bad look on top of the RICO charges, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing he may be able to get around. Certain things within the 28 indictment thing, hard to get around the other stuff. Hard to get around, they find a gun in your house, and it's your house and a gun in your house. It's hard to convince a jury that it's not your gun. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's just, I don't know how you get around those charges. Like, so now I'm at the point where how do you get around doing any jail time for this? I know they hire some high-priced lawyers and everything, man, that's going to really, really fight to get them a bond. But bro, they be keeping you in jail for a few different reasons. One is money. You know what I'm saying? Jail is like big business, bro. It's very big business. The more money you spend in jail, the more profitable the jail is. The phone system is making like $2 million a year. You know what I'm saying? Just on phones, 18 cents a minute for you to talk on the phone in jail, bro. 18 cents a minute. So they're definitely making money on jail, making money on commissary. These are all contracts that they have with the jails. So the jail is getting a portion of the profits. So this is all big business. The goal is not to get the goal is not to let you out of jail. It's to keep you in and keep you spending money within the jail. You know what I'm saying? And also to break you. The longer they in jail, they arrested a lot of people, man. All you gotta do is stretch it out. You stretch out these 28 people. You stretch out, you know, Thug and Gunna and all these different people. All you got to do is get someone to start singing, someone to talk, someone to get tired of the system. See, Thug, you know, even though he's solitary confinement, he got money. People going to be putting money on his books. He's going to be able to talk on the phone. He's going to be eating good in jail. He's going to do all that. I don't know about these other people that's locked up, these other 26 individuals that got locked up in this indictment. They're going to be fighting. You know, some of them may or may not get bond. I don't know. But if they're not able to bond out, if they're not able to eat well, if they're not able to do none of that, they got people on the outside, their family telling them, leave this gang stuff alone. This is why you should have never been in the streets. This is why you should have never. And then eventually they start looking out for themselves. So they're going to try to stretch these people out, not give them no bond, keep them in jail so that they can eventually break you. That's all it is about jail, is breaking you. If we can keep you in jail and keep you broke, we can keep you eating these 1,100 calorie meal, 1,100 calories a day or whatever, meals or whatever, to where we can keep you very, very hungry, broke, not able to get on the phone much, and not able to have much movement or freedom within the jail. We can break you, because eventually you'll get tired of these circumstances. And then the people that you got locked up with, you'll start turning on them because they may be eating well or they may be doing better and you're not doing good. So at the end of the day, man, I feel like, at the end of the day, I kind of feel like they're going to keep them in there. I really feel like they're going to keep them in there. One, the political aspect. Two, is the longer that they're in, maybe the other 26 people, not named Gunna and not named Thug, will start to talk. They just want them to talk. I'm telling you right now, a co-defendant is one of the worst things you have on a criminal case. They just want you to talk. So that's the situation with Bond, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this. If y'all have been following this story or whatever. And holla at your boy.